there's a hill. We called it the Hill of Death. This thing is like a 30 to 40 degree grade. We used to do overspeed down it. Imagine running overspeed down. Your decel was about 5 times the length of the sprint.
Welcome to the Coach 'em Up podcast. My name is Tim Riley. Zach Zillner's not with us today. He has been taken hostage by a South Florida Cuban cocaine cartel. We're currently working on trying to get him freed, but the financial demands are quite large. We are looking for new sponsors, so maybe that can help sponsor us so that we can save Zach Zillner from South Florida. There are 2 types of people on planet Earth, and I need to address this before I talk about who our guest is today. There are subscribers and there are non-subscribers. I would imagine many members of that Cuban cartel are non-subscribers. Don't be a Cuban cartel. Don't sell drugs. Don't kidnap people. Smash the subscribe button. Do the right thing. If you have a loved one, a friend, a cartel member that you happen to associate with who leaves their phone unattended, do the right thing, pick it up, subscribe them to the podcast unbeknownst to them, and give them the greatest gift one can give another person. Now that I'm done with that, I am so excited to announce we have current legend and future strength and conditioning Hall of Famer, Joe Pedulla. Joe, what's up, baby?
Not much, man. Happy to be here.
I want everyone to know.
Invitation.
Dude, are you kidding? Everyone needs to know. So on the way over here, Joe was following me. And I also, so my girlfriend Kelly tells me how bad of a driver I am. And it's like, yeah, whatever. And turns out I needed today's experience to confirm what everyone else in my life already knows. I am indeed a terrible driver. You know, when someone's following you, the right thing to do is like when a light turns yellow, you slow down. You slow down a little so that you can both wait at the red light and then proceed. I made him run. I didn't make him. I put him in a position where he essentially had to run 2 red lights on the way over here. So he quite literally risked his life.
I had no problem doing it. 0. I've been waiting for this since December. So I wanted to wait.
You would have run a third.
I would
have. Joe, dude, thank you so much for coming. I've been so looking forward to this. Zach, prior to his kidnapping, was able to text me and let me know that he was experiencing crippling FOMO, not being here, but he sends his regards. And I'm assuming he's still alive. But Joe, for the people who don't know who you are, who are about to find out, can you tell them a little bit about yourself, your training background, and what you're up to today?
Yeah, so this all started in 2017. I graduated high school, went to college, small Division III college in Massachusetts, bottom of the barrel type school, no money. Yeah. And in my first fall, I was competing for shortstop between 2 other senior captains and third base. And they were like, Joe, look, you're not going to end up winning the spot. Let's see if you can pitch. Because we had a guy that went down with a shoulder labrum surgery and then another guy who was academically ineligible. You always have a couple of those.
Listen, I relate to that guy.
Yeah. So I end up going to the bullpen and I'm throwing absolute pus balls that were living in the range of 73 to 75 miles an hour, with a little bit of natural cut action on them. Not good. And they were like, well, we're going to run with it. And it was a good decision because I ended up having a really good college career as a pitcher. I wish I had discovered pitching sooner. My freshman year, I won Rookie of the Year for our conference.
What, dude?
I was a first team all-conference player. I took myself from throwing like 75 miles an hour to throwing 92, 91 in that range my senior year. So made good progress. Never had a strength coach in college.
What?
So pretty much like my development as an athlete is the reason why I fell in love with it and seeing how it can translate to the field and just athletic success in general. So that's how I fell in love with it. In that time too, in the winter of 2017, I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, which came about I found out I had it after I was like urinating like 20 times a day, insatiable thirst. I was hungry constantly. I had like no body fat on me, and I was stupid and I was an idiot. People are like, "Are you losing weight?" I'm like, "No, I'm just training really hard with the boys." You know what I mean? Like we were going hard like 6 days a week, like at least an hour and a half, 2 hours in the gym.
Yeah, it's like Joe's ripped out of his mind. Also, he seems very thirsty.
Yeah,
He's so thirsty.
so I come home and get my blood sugar tested. For people that don't know, your blood sugar should be like 83 to 90 milligrams per deciliter.
Okay.
If you're a healthy person, unless you've just drank a soda. Mine was 563. So, I mean, had I gone a little longer, like you're pushing like a near-death experience.
Whoa, man.
So I started insulin therapy and gained like 30 pounds back in like 2 months, which was just nuts. I think that's where a lot of my fastball velocity came from, is just being a healthy human being again.
Just actually functioning.
Yeah. So ended up going through my college career, and in 2020 when COVID hit, I'm looking for a summer opportunity like faster than I expected. And my head coach at the time had met Zach Dakin at a conference called Pitchapalooza in Nashville, which is a baseball pitching conference. And they were roommates together. And he put me in contact with Zach. I got an internship opportunity with him in the summer of 2020. Also almost didn't happen because of COVID. I was like one of 2 interns, so that was a godsend.
Wow.
And then from there, I did an internship in my hometown in New Jersey. For those that don't know, I am from New Jersey, so I've been around the block a little bit, so I'm not really fazed by Austin drivers, because if you've ever been on the Garden State Parkway, it's pretty dangerous. So I did my internship there in the winter, signed a full-time job offer with them before my senior season, and then started working with them full-time when I came back. When I got back, the guy that hired me quit the first week I was there.
Hell yeah, dude.
I'm like fresh out of school, like running a private facility on my own.
Oh, they elevated you.
Well,
running
the owner didn't really have a choice.
I see.
So here's the situation. So he was the owner of a PT clinic downstairs. The performance center was upstairs.
Oh, I see.
Same owner, different businesses. And the top floor was kind of like, let's see if we can make some use of like our real estate and make some money out of this space. Okay. So I did, facility upkeep, programming, coaching, marketing. I went to high school events. I did assessments on kids. I had one other person working with me, and he was a marketing agent. So he helped me do ads, and we went around town and put flyers in every single restaurant in that town in like a week. And then October rolled around, and I see all these jobs for Major League Baseball opening up, minor league baseball specifically. And I said, who's to say I'm unfit for this position? You know what I mean? So I applied for 14 different organizations, and I got interviews with all of them. And the Royals were the first team that offered me a position. At the time, it was part-time. They said, look, you're not experienced enough. We're going to give you a part-time role in Arizona for the rookie league. No benefits, nothing like that. And my parents are going crazy because of my condition,
I see.
Insulin costs thousands of dollars if you're not on coverage. And I was like, I don't care if I have to drive DoorDash. I don't care if I have to do whatever to make it work. It's going to work. 2.5 weeks in, they call me into the office. I think I'm on the hot seat and in trouble for something. Like I made a rookie mistake. And they said, look, you've made a good impression. In 2.5 weeks, we're going to send you to full-time affiliate in Columbia, South Carolina. So the job I applied for originally was given to me in less than 3 weeks' time. So I got the salary that I initially thought I was going to get. I got the benefits, and I got my my role that I wanted.
God, so that's awesome.
It's crazy how it played out. So take that gamble. You know what I mean?
Well, not only take that gamble, but I would assume, and look, like if you could purchase stock in people in their industry, I would be pulling out of my savings account to put into the Joe Pedulla.
Thank you.
Stock. I mean
Thank
it.
you.
Just your work ethic, how much you care, how much you've been able to do and the time you've had and the impact you've made on the field and the time you've had. And at the beginning of the show, when I said future strength and conditioning Hall of Famer, I'm not fucking kidding, man. I think your trajectory, I mean it. There's only a few people I've said that to. Another person that I identified early on, and I think it's working out well for him in his particular space, Alec Blennis. I remember when he just started posting. He just, some people, man, they've just got the skill set.
Right.
And the work ethic to make it go somewhere. And that's what I'm hearing in your story, dude. Like, you took a chance, you showed up, and even in that first job opportunity, like, you took it, you didn't have the experience, you fucking made it work. That's
what you have to do.
You're driving around, you're putting up flyers, bro. You know?
That's what you have to do. You have to go the distance, and no one's going to come save you and feel sorry for you. And
where does that come from? Well, I mean, because it feels like this wasn't something that was crafted overnight for you. And you're how old?
I'm 25.
All right, dude, you're 20 fucking 5. I didn't get sober till I was 20. I mean, I was, a fucking mess. I didn't start to even comprehend some of the things that kind of feel like are just a part of your character. Did that start with your parents? Like, where does that come from?
I think a lot of it was my parents. We weren't just given things because we asked for them. We were forced to do chores. We were forced to, respect your mother and, get up at a certain time and take care of your business and be a good student and be a man and respect people.
Yeah.
And, take pride in yourself, and do a good job. And I think I also was influenced by a lot of coaches that I had. I did have a strength coach in high school. His name was Kenneth Thomore. Mm-hmm. His son Carl was drafted by the White Sox, I think, in a very high round of the Major League draft. And he would always train with us. But that man shaped a lot of my behavior and a lot of my work ethic, and really showed us, our club organization, our team, what it was to be an adult, a mature athlete, and just a hard-nosed grinder.
Yeah.
Honestly. Nowadays, with my understanding of strength and conditioning, I can look back on a lot of that training and say it was a bit archaic.
Sure.
Did it make us better? Absolutely.
Let's go, baby.
In every sense of the word. In every sense of the word. And just to put into perspective, Rutgers University in New Jersey, there's a hill at this park called Memorial Park right next to it. Mm-hmm. We called it the Hill of Death. This thing is like a 30 to 40 degree grade. We used to roll tires up it. We used to do overspeed down it. Imagine running overspeed down. You know what it reminds me of? Your decel was about 5 times the length of the sprint.
You know those videos where people, they have it's like a gathering. It's like an event every year and people run down the hill. And people just get literally so concussed, they have to be fucking air flighted out. That's what I'm seeing in my mind.
That's a lot steeper, that hill. But, I mean, just crazy stuff. But we loved it. We loved it.
Yeah.
I miss it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Simpler times.
It was a situation where look, you're even the slightest bit late. You're not practicing. You're not lifting. You don't get to do it.
Yeah.
Because this is a privilege. And I wish most athletes took that approach. I'm privileged to be here. I have a gift that I've been given. For whatever reason, God's put me in this position. I should probably seize that opportunity and make good use of it, because there's 1 million plus people that would kill someone to have my position. So that's kind of what it taught me. And also the realization that I'm responsible for people. I'm responsible for my boss. He has a business. I can't let him down.
Yeah.
I have athletes that have trusted me. To trust me fresh out of school, 21 years old, and I'm going to let you down.
Yeah.
That's just a disgrace.
Yeah. Can't allow it.
You can't allow it. Absolutely not. And have I let people down? Absolutely. But I've it's happened with me going down swinging and trying everything I can, everything I know how to do,
That's fucking up, dude. I'm about to run through one of these white walls listening to you talk right now, dude. I love it.
We're obviously a little ignorant, all of us. We don't have all the answers at all times.
Yeah.
But that's no excuse to just coast.
God, man, there's so much good stuff in that and everything that you just said. And, something I keyed in on too was having an appreciation for the gravity of the responsibility you've been given, and it meaning something to you. And then also too, you touched on like how it is a privilege and an honor that you get to train hard and you get to play your sport. And I that resonates with me because it wasn't until I had fucked up my life, you know, good enough to where those things were taken from. I didn't have a choice. I had eliminated my option to participate, that it started to sink in about all those times that I whined and complained that I had to show up to strength and conditioning for football. Like, I didn't even like training, bro, until it was all taken from me. Right. And then I needed it, you know? So sometimes it's funny. It's like there are certain people who, and I've always admired people who understand what they have when they have it and have a gratitude and appreciation for it. Whereas, I like to think that most of the time I'm able to do that, but
I think you do a good job with that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I do now, but I think the reason I'm able to do it now is because there was a big portion of my life where I wasn't, you know, and I can look back and say, God, you know, but hindsight is 2020. So look, okay, you get the job,
right?
You get the job, man.
Yeah.
So, and then what happens with this?
So Columbia, South Carolina is low A. So for those that don't understand the minor league baseball structure, you have rookie league, which is at your spring training complex. That's a lot of international players, a lot of high school draftees, very young athletes, or people that are on rehab assignments. You know, they go back and they play a couple of rookie league games. Then you go to full-time or full season affiliate, it's called. So you have low A, high A, double A, triple A, the big leagues. So I did low A in South Carolina for a year. I was promoted to high A in Quad Cities, Iowa, right on the Mississippi River. Pretty cool stadium, I'll say that. Right on the Mississippi, you had like this bridge in the background, nice backdrop.
That's pretty cool.
But that year was when I realized that I can't do this much longer. And the reason is because I feel like as I've matured, I've realized that life is more than work. Yeah. I want to be a husband and I want to be a father. And sure enough, I take this job at Oklahoma, and I meet my soon-to-be wife there.
Meet a girl.
So it's like, tell me that there's not some divine intervention with that. Just having that impulse and it happening like that. And the opportunity I have now is just a blessing in disguise too. The people I work with are great. They hold me to a very high standard. The program is very well respected. We have amazing fans who care and invest in the program, and it's just an amazing environment to be in. And when I was told about the opportunity, I didn't know anything about it. And I've always told myself, you know, I'm a baseball guy, which really is my bread and butter.
Yeah.
But it's been so much fun. Softball is extremely fun.
Dude.
It's very fast paced. There's a lot of energy. The fans are really engaged. I mean, if you watch the World Series,
I did.
It's crazy. It's a lot of fun.
It's awesome. I mean, my daughter, she likes sports. She plays sports. When she's competing, she's all about it. She's not going to sit down and watch a game really with me of any sport. She was there every single second of this most recent World Series. And it made it real for her because one of the football players I trained, his girlfriend was a shortstop for Texas.
Okay.
Mia. What a stud she is. But
very
watching, oh my God. Yeah. But watching that World Series, I was like, softball is fucking awesome, man.
It's one of the fastest growing sports in the world.
It is so awesome. And also shout out Austin Yoakum, friend of the show, who plays semi-professional or professional. I don't want to offend you, Austin, but I know he's hitting bombs out there somewhere right now. He's spending plenty of time in the cage. Yeah. So, okay, what are the big differences from an athletic standpoint between baseball and softball?
You know, people ask me what the differences in the training programs are, and my honest answer is not much.
Yeah.
It's very interesting how long a pitcher can go for in softball. You'll look up at the pitch count, and it's like 160 some games. And then they're out there the next day throwing a bullpen or getting 2 innings in relief, and then they're starting again on Sunday. The work capacity is pretty incredible. And I think a lot of it is just from their history of playing. I mean, youth and club softball is insane. They're playing like 8 to 12 games a week. Their foundation of just doing the thing over and over again is probably greater than any sport other than maybe basketball.
Yeah.
Like basketball players, hey, you want to go hoop today? Like they'll play hours of pickup, but baseball's not like that. You can only kind of do so much.
Right.
Until you're risking an injury because of, it is a demanding sport. And, as you can see with all the UCL problems and all the injuries that pop up, it's an epidemic, obviously. So that's one thing, is that you don't have to be as careful about injury prevention so much in softball, which kind of might surprise some people. The injuries you have to worry about, I feel like, are more knee, ankle, because females have very lax joints usually.
Yes.
So there is a large emphasis on strength training through a full range of motion, lots of isometrics, overcoming isometrics, maintaining a lot of joint integrity, plyometrics, and also speed training is something that they need because softball athletes usually don't physically develop.
Yes.
So you're
because they're playing softball.
They're playing
right?
all the time.
Right.
Baseball players are different. They have a little
can play
more
football. They can run track.
Right. And they have a little more time, and they also understand how important physicality is to getting recruited. I feel like that's growing in softball, but historically it hasn't been a huge thing. And most of the softball players that I've seen have a very low training age. So it's quite simple. People think that we're doing crazy things just because of the success of the program, and it's not really that way. It's very simple. It's coached at a very high level. I try to make it as competitive as possible.
Let's go.
But to be very honest with you, the differences in the training modalities are not very different.
The Coach 'em Up podcast is sponsored by Squat Wedgies. Tim, what are squat wedgies?
Squat wedgies are an adjustable squat wedge, 7, 13, and 20 degrees.
It's big enough to elevate your whole foot and not just your heel.
Because it's rubber, it doesn't slide on surfaces.
It's 22 pounds, so it's durable and stable enough for even your biggest athletes.
There's a 90-day risk-free trial. The shipping is free, and
get 15% off squat wedgies with our discount code CoachEmUp15.
Coach 'em Up 15 for 15% off of the best squat wedge on the planet. Zach, what's the best training app on the planet?
It has to be Train Heroic. Gone are the days of sending the old crusty PDF. Now we have a sleek new app.
It's easy to use. There's videos with descriptions. You get to track and log your weight, your reps. There's a community chat function. You can submit videos. You can get feedback.
How about the leaderboard, Tim?
I started using Train Heroic first as an athlete and someone who wanted to learn. Now I use it as a coach. Athletes and other coaches can go and be a part of my training community and get results.
Whether you're an athlete, coach, or just like to train, use the link in our description to find out how you can train on the best app in the world.
And join us on Train Heroic today. The rotational athlete space, particularly in throwing, if you're on that side of Instagram or social media, you're going to see some wild stuff.
A lot of hot takes.
A lot of hot takes, a lot of exercises where it's like, what am I looking at? You know what I mean? So all that to say, how much different is it training a quote unquote rotational athlete to an athlete that plays any other sport, like a basketball, a soccer, or, like, what are the major differences? How much of a premium of like the programming actually goes into like carving out a piece of that aspect? And how do you go about it?
So I have a couple different points I want to touch on. The first one that comes to my mind just right away is performance testing, like acting like we can test rotational power and that it's going to have a predictive value of how people are going to execute their skill. If you're trying to measure how something is going to be like something else, why don't you just measure that thing? Like measuring Kaiser peak power rotations or med ball throw velocities might drive output, but I don't think that they're predictive of any kind of throwing velocity. And I'm not sure if there are studies on this, but I can almost guarantee that if you were to study the correlation of med ball throws to fastball velocity, there has to be a study out there on this, but I doubt it's a high predictive value.
Yeah.
Because it's such a complex skill. And when you throw a med ball,
it's not that complex.
It's not complex. The kinematics are very different. If anything, you could teach some feel-oriented patterns with it. That's kind of where I think the rotational aspect comes in.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I do a ton of heavy Pavlov rotations, a lot of like serious loading of the trunk. None of this like planking all the time and like vanilla type core training.
Yeah.
I like to load the obliques through a full range of motion, very heavy. I think one thing that gets overlooked too is the amount of volume that they're performing in their sport. Swinging, throwing, that's the main stimulus. And I find it hard to find things in a weight room that are going to supersede the intensity of that stimulus.
Yeah.
And I think one of the reasons why people might not experience the throwing velocity or exit velocity improvements that they do is because they're looking for it in the weight room and they're not showing up to skill practice ready to rip. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not 100% there. We'll talk about my course eventually, but the other night I got a question about how I would change training for a kid. This guy just gave me an example of this guy he's working with, JUCO baseball player who's squatting 450, benching 315, deadlifting like 600 pounds on hex bar. But the kid throws 86 miles an hour from the left. Okay, how many days is he lifting? 5 to 6. Okay, there's no way that his skill works quality.
Yeah. He's trash.
Because the amount of investment you need to put in to move those numbers higher is going to drain you. And it is not going to allow you to have something in the tank to throw hard and to acquire skill properly. Just because you feel okay and that you're used to it doesn't mean that you're just ready to go practice. And the proof is in the pudding for me. I mean, that should be your main indicator of if it's working, is if your velocity is going up and if your EV is going up, exit velocity.
Mm-hmm.
Like those are the measures, other than like location, control, like those are obviously important, but for the sake of rotating harder or throwing harder, I think those things can't be overlooked.
That brings up the concept of like, diminishing returns, and just at a certain point where getting stronger is no longer moving the needle, but it's so easy to continue to try and spam that. Right. Particularly if you had a period of time where you introduced lifting, you got strong, and you saw like a big jump, right? And then like hoping and praying and wishing that like if you just keep hitting that button that it's going to come back. But I think an overlooked part of that is actually what you just touched on. And this is something my sprint journey, which I know you're on as well,
right,
has taught me personally at a personal level, where it's like, it's not even necessarily at a certain point about driving the numbers up. It's just that the cumulative fatigue is not going to afford me the opportunity to run my absolute fastest on a consistent basis. And that ultimately is the thing that's going to get me faster.
Yes.
So it's like, and shout out Dan Bach, who has this principle of shifting and having periods of time where like strength kind of is the emphasis and you're maintaining your speed. And then let's see what you can get out of that strength, and then dialing it way back.
Right.
Way back. And then allowing the skill development of throwing, sprinting, jumping, insert, highly coordinated, highly neurological output movement in, where that becomes the thing all the time.
I don't care what anyone says. Interference is real. Interference is real.
It is real.
And you're not going to really realize that until you get to a certain level.
Yes.
And you have to push through a barrier. Something has to change. So this particular kid, I said, you got to try to get him lifting 2 to 3 times a week, get him sprinting, get him jumping, and get him throwing the piss out of the ball.
Yeah.
More often. So I think those things are really important. I think a lot of strength coaches undervalue skill.
Yep.
I think that they complain a lot about how much skill practice the athletes are doing and that it's taking away from what they're doing. But that's a red flag for me, because if you ask a strength coach, like, what's one exercise every athlete should be doing? If your answer is not the sport, my antennas are up. And I'm like, that's weird. You know what I mean? Like, how could you possibly think that?
Tell me more. Continue. I want you, for the people who, because there are going to be people listening to this who say, what do you mean? Right? Because the answer is obviously sprinting, or the answer is obviously a deep squat, or the answer is obviously, you know what I mean?
No, I'm not saying that those things don't help.
Right.
But if you were to take the skill stuff away, they're going to regress and get bad at it.
Yeah.
I have stopped throwing over the years. I guarantee I would not be throwing 90 miles an hour right now, even though I've gotten significantly stronger, faster. And I think strength coaches don't understand the nervous system. They don't understand coordination. Mm-hmm. They don't understand how much like neurological currency, I call it, that stuff takes up, and how much it requires to learn at a certain point. You know, with a kid, they could just do it all day long and they're not going to fatigue out. Mm-hmm. And that those reps over time are gonna accumulate and mean something. That's why in motor learning, there's kind of like 3 categories. There's block practice, mixed practice, and differential practice. Block practice doesn't work for elite athletes. They need some mixed and differential practice to spice things up and diversify their movement so that their skill acquisition is a little better, for lack of better term or more in-depth explanation. But kids can thrive off block practice. They can just do it all day long, the same thing.
Yep.
Because you need to a certain point to learn, like, oh, my hand should be here, or I should be rotating at this time. My pelvis should be oriented like this when I go down the mound. Like, you watch a kid throw, their pelvis opens right away and they push the ball. Mm-hmm. You learn at a certain point through block practice that that's probably not what you should do. And then it becomes a lot more intricate, like delaying rotation. How far am I riding down the mound before I rotate? That rotation happens in such a finite time window. To feel it and to rep it properly, you cannot be fatigued for that.
Yeah.
It's happening in like thousandths of a second, and you know, a couple thousandths of seconds before or after is the difference maker of you throwing 99 versus 95, 96 or worse. Mm-hmm. So the intricacies of mechanics and the intricacies and complexities of your mechanics as you start to build and more skill and get better at it becomes harder and harder to refine, which means you need to be fresher and fresher and not put all your eggs in one basket of strength or speed, or, you know, I just train to train. So I can do it. You know, you can do it. But
right. But when a World Series is on the line, when a title, yeah.
I mean, when we hit playoffs, I mean, we're not training that hard.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to know. It's like that meme, like, bro thought he was the main character. Like that's how a lot of strength coaches are, like in postseason or like late in the season. You're not the main character. Like, you need to be there to facilitate readiness, and your work is done. Like, you've done all the hard work in the off season.
Yep.
You've trained hard for as long as you can in season. Mm-hmm. There comes a point where like you've done enough to be comfortable. Like, these athletes can go a month and a half training at, 70% or just sprinting and throwing med balls to survive right now. Like, mm-hmm. It's too stressful to continue pushing the envelope. Not speaking in absolutes, but you got to know what takes priority and when.
So I think that brings us into something that we were talking about off air, and it's a philosophy of mine. In fact, what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to read a definition. Okay. The definition, the word I'm reading is pragmatic. Okay. Based on practical considerations and real world circumstances rather than theory or idealism. It goes on to say it emphasizes practicality, efficiency, and sensible decision making, often contrasted with idealism or theoretical approaches. In essence, a pragmatic person focuses on what works in practice and what's achievable in the real world. Joe, Pragmatic Pedulla, okay?
Pragmatic principles.
Your Pragmatic Principles course. It is a course, correct?
Right.
That word, that definition that I just read is something that, and I apologize for everyone who's been listening to the show for a while, encapsulates something that I've been saying in a different way, which is that I don't want to be right. I want to get it right. I say it all the time. Kelly hates it. Zach hates it. Maybe half of the people listening and watching now hate it, But that's what I'm talking about.
Right.
You know, that definition it's spot on.
It's a beacon of hope.
Dude, you know what's crazy about that? So Katie Dabrowski was on the show. For everyone who doesn't know, the beacon of hope thing. I have some explaining to do. Okay. Most of you weren't at the conference. So at the conference, a young man asked me a question at the live Q&A, and he referred to me in his question as a beacon of hope for our field and space. And, you know, I laughed and I said, I appreciate that. That's very kind, but no one has ever accused me of being a beacon of hope. I've been accused of many things, but not that. And we all shared a laugh. However, it immediately became kind of an inside joke with everybody at the conference. And I kept getting like, what's up, beacon of hope, ribs, and things like that. It turns out, because I didn't remember this, Katie Dabrowski was on the show about a month prior to the conference. She called me a beacon of hope. And just that episode just released yesterday. And Zach sent me a text. He said, dude, holy shit. Katie called you beacon of hope. I said, what are you talking about? He like sent me the timestamp. So anyway, it's taken a life of its own. It needed for everyone in the future. Now, you know that when people call me a beacon of hope, it's not because I called myself that. Okay. It's because it happened at the conference. Okay. So, we're back on track now. Where did this, principle of pragmatism, how did you arrive at this? What were some of the experiences that sort of forged this for you? How have you crafted that? And then tell us a little bit about the course.
This really started when I noticed how different a lot of people's programs were. And as a young coach, you're so fixated on X's and O's and what you're reading and really minute details that now I'm realizing don't matter that much. And you start to wonder, like, how is this so? Everyone's doing such different things and they're getting the good results. Is because it's a lot more than this X equals Y equation where you input something and you get the same result every single time. And there must be a difference in these coaching styles other than just methods of physical training. It's got to be buy-in. It needs to be the environment, how the athletes are turning up to training. Are they recovered? Are they looking forward to it? How much time does the coach have? And once you start to incorporate all these different factors, you realize how much stuff you can't do. And just quick tip for coaches who struggle to program, start with what you are unable to do. Start with a list of things you can't do and narrow it down. And that helps you kind of narrow your selection pool of what you want to do with your athletes. I have a laundry list of things that I cannot and will not ever do again in my setting. For a myriad of reasons.
Yeah, whether space, efficiency, timing. This just isn't working with this group.
People complaining about it. It could be anything.
Literally.
Anything. Or I just hate coaching it because it...
Can we stop right there? Can we let people know that that's a good enough reason?
It's okay. Yeah, it's okay.
Like, I can just say that. Just say it.
And I'm not going to explain why. Just
no further explanation needed. Yeah. Why don't we do this? Because I don't want to do it.
It's okay. And if you don't like it, your athletes probably won't either. Because how are you supposed to coach it well?
Oh God.
And get them to buy into it and enjoy it if you can't enthusiastically coach it or swear by it?
Yeah.
That's a big reason why I train so hard, is because I want to feel what they're feeling and what I'm asking them to do. And they need to know that I know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
To get some initial base level of buy-in and trust that this isn't, hogwash.
I'll have, to that point, I'll have coaches ask me questions in my DMs who are kind of in a similar situation I've been in throughout my career, where like I didn't play college sports. I fucking dropped out of high school. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And they'll be like, I never played college sports, but I want to be a strength coach, or I'm working with a group of athletes, but I feel like I don't have any buy-in. And like the first thing I think, I was like, are you training like them, brother?
It's a huge piece.
Because
it's a huge piece.
If you can't stand on If you don't have the skill set or the resume to buy buy-in any other way, that's a real great way to do it.
Absolutely. So to continue with the pragmatic stuff, I saw my former self in a lot of people asking me, I mean, I get DMs all the time, as I'm sure that you do, and my posts are very detailed for those that follow what I write, because I feel like people need the explanation for why I think the way I do. And a lot of things nowadays are just, we do this or do that, or this is how it should be done. And people take things for face value with no context. And that's what pragmatics are about. It's understanding like the beauty of context and the beauty of different training styles that make coaches who they are because of their ability to adapt to different situations and mold their coaching styles to wherever they are. And that's how you become a robust coach, is by not being married to methods. You have to be married to the principles and why things work. That's the overarching theme of my course, and my message is there's not a one size fits all. There is a hierarchy of good to bad things for certain situations. I think coaches are afraid to say that one thing is not as good as another, but you can most certainly do that with many different training styles, or let's say you're focusing on speed. There's absolutely better ways to go about training speed than other ways, with no questions asked. Depending on time of year, whether you're doing resisted sprints, what the load is going to be based on the training aid. It's not like you read a Michael Cahill paper and you're automatically using sled loads that are 60 to 80% body weight just because the study found good results. Like, what about the people in that study that didn't get great results? Like, we are in the business of N=1. We care about the people that didn't get good results in a study, and studies will make claims on an average spectrum.
Yeah.
This was the average outcome. And you have to look a little deeper and ask why it wasn't more pronounced of a result. So, I mean, there's an entire section in my course where I talk about reading research, understanding research. Like, for example, there's a Nordic hamstring paper that talks about how Nordic hamstrings were found to reduce injuries by 51%. It's a study by Van Dyke. It's a very popular paper.
Yep.
There was a meta-analysis done. That study was a meta-analysis. There was a study done of this study, and it called the paper out for picking studies to look at which included exercises other than Nordics in it. So it's Nordics not just on their own, but like they were also bounding, they were also sprinting, they were also jumping, they were also doing RDLs, they were also squatting. So you can't make the causal claim
that it was just the Nordic.
Exactly. If you were to do that, you would have to pick papers that only do Nordics.
Correct.
Which is, very few papers. So it's just understanding that too, taking an N=1 approach, and understanding that every situation is different, and you just have to mold your training style to it. That's pretty much the root of it. So in my course, I don't really teach people the one way to do things, but I do show them my thought process and why. That's why we're going to do a programming module where I'm just going to sit down and I'm going to program, I told you today, with like 60 people, like helping me write a program, and we will sift through the reasons why certain things we're going to put them in, or certain things won't go in.
Yep.
So I'm really excited for that one.
That's going to be awesome.
It's going to be really cool. By the way, Coach 'em Up 15 discount code for the course.
No way, dude.
Yeah.
Wow. He just dropped a bomb on me.
Yeah, we're going to do that.
Wow. Everyone, if you've made it into 42 minutes of this episode, you just heard something absolutely epic. Joe, thank you. The listeners get 15% off the course, Coach 'em Up 15.
Because I care about more people being in it than I do making 100% of the. I want people to be in.
Yes.
And if people
are you building an awesome community with that too?
I'm trying my absolute best. My goal is to build one of the best education platforms that is out there. And there are many. There are many education platforms, but I want it to be more personal. I want to have guest speakers on. I want it to be a one-time buy and you have access. I don't know for sure how it's going to play out, but I want to make it affordable. I want it to be scalable. I want it to reach as many people as possible. And I want to kind of break a lot of stigmas about our profession. I want to break a lot of people's like bad habits and overthinking when it comes to programming, or just how they conduct themselves in their own development. Like, I made a post last night about fear of missing out.
Yep.
On Instagram. And the whole message
flywheel and FOMO.
Yeah, flywheels and FOMO. That was the caption. But there are coaches that will wear this badge of honor because they're doing all these things, and many people just aren't there yet. And my main message to people is to not lose yourself, find out who you are, double down on what makes you really good at what you're doing, and don't live by anybody else's standard. Like if you don't run a DAR emotion assessment every other week, I don't think less of you. If you don't write an annual plan, I don't think less of you. I don't. But a lot of coaches will make it seem like that.
Yep.
Or you will feel, even if they don't make you feel like that on purpose, you'll look at what a lot of people are doing and you might feel like an absolute failure.
Yep.
I guarantee people look at what we're doing and they might feel like that sometimes. Mm-hmm. And that's a normal human response.
Yes.
And I really do embrace.
I remember feeling that way.
Yeah.
Working my way up into the field and into the space, and constantly feeling like I wasn't doing enough. I wasn't good enough. And frankly, now look, I now look at a lot of this being on me. Right. But I'm constantly comparing myself to what other people are doing and not doing. And when I stopped giving a fuck, it was really liberating, and I could just be me.
Yes.
And that's worked out way better.
Yeah. Never live by someone else's standard. And you don't even know if it's real what they're putting out.
Exactly, dude.
You don't even know if they're doing everything that they're saying. So
oftentimes, if you watch people, particularly the ones who hang their hat on that, and they say, we do X, Y, and every other post is this is what we do. After a while, I'm like, I'm going to call bullshit.
Do you really?
Because you can't do all. Do you do it all?
All of it. There's no way. I'm looking at my programming card. I'm looking at my weight card. I'm like, I got 5 exercises programmed today.
Yeah.
Multiply that by 4 days. That's 20 exercises. How are you doing all?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. You don't really know what's real. And we live in a social media age. People try to look good, so you can't live by someone else's standard. Working more is not a badge of honor. I think one thing I really want to talk about today with you is like my goal to make life and your job a little easier. You should be trying to make your work easier. You shouldn't be patting yourself on the back. Obviously, hard work is amazing, and like going through late nights, struggling to build something, and putting really well-intentioned effort and work into something is one thing, but boasting about going to bed at 2 because you stayed at the stadium until 12, doing something that you didn't really have to do, that isn't resulting in something that's a high return on your investment. I don't know why we admire that as a profession.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like a brag. It feels like poor decision making.
It feels like bad time management. It feels like bad time management, and it feels like,
oh God,
like it feels like bad priorities.
Yeah,
is what it feels like. And that's the reason I left baseball, is because I didn't have much going on outside of my work life. And now I feel like I've got a little bit more going on that I can, produce and try to make people's quality of life better in their actual job. But
so you're saying pragmatism extends beyond X's and O's of programming?
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. I believe what you said offline here. In fact, I wrote it down because it made me laugh. People make their job harder and then like to complain about it by boasting about it.
They complain about being underpaid and overworked.
Yeah.
And at the same time, brag about how much they're doing.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to do that.
You can't have your cake and eat it too.
You can't have your cake and eat it too. Exactly. Stop it.
You just remind me of, this is the way my brain works. The Michael Jordan say no to drugs ad? Or he just goes,
stop it. Get some help. Yeah. Facts.
Exactly, dude.
So,
exactly. Joe and I are dialed right now.
Could you use that time to help other coaches or put out a good product or write a blog?
Yeah.
Like something that's going to actually produce good results for somebody. I mean, to double down on this in like my own day to day, people love performance testing. They love getting data. They love putting people through all these different tests, NordBoard, force. It's all great. I do force plates. I do NordBoard. I do grip testing, pretty infrequently grip testing. I do force plates twice a week, but I don't run a movement assessment. And people online will go off about how critical it is to understand your athletes and this and that. And I'm like, I get what you're saying, but I would put my coaching eye up against anyone.
Yes.
I will watch athletes train and learn a lot about them just by watching really hard and just taking notes on my paper as I'm watching them run or lift or, okay, why does this look bad? Okay, let's try heel wedge. Okay, still looks bad. Let's try split squat. Okay. And that's pragmatism right there, is finding the exercises that fit your athletes instead of the other way around.
Amen.
There's no optimal progression. A lot of programs will say, hey, like we start with front squat and then we're going to progress to back squat. I have athletes, I wouldn't think of squatting them in the entire 4-year career.
Yes. Thank you.
They're like, why do we need to? It's not a silver bullet. Can we belt squat? Can we split squat?
Yeah.
They're all pretty similar. I'm not going to live and die by one thing versus the other. Could you get more load out of maybe a bilateral squat? Yeah, maybe. But if it looks terrible, are you really loading what you want to load? So it's just weighing like pros and cons at each individual level. And I don't know the next time I'll run a structured movement screen in the fall when my athletes come in, because I have such a short time window to get them ready as well, that I am not going to waste a day on movement screens. Yeah. I will not.
The Coach 'em Up podcast has partnered with Eleiko.
Let's go.
Not only is Eleiko found in 85% of Power 5 schools, but they also offer at-home solutions from racks, flooring, rigs, barbells, bumper plates, your favorite accessories like straps and weightlifting belts, you name it, Eleiko's got you covered. Go to eleiko.com/coachemup and get access to the same equipment that they're using in the best facilities with the best athletes on the planet. This episode is brought to you by friend of the show, David Gray of David Gray Rehab, creator of the absolute game-changing foot, ankle, and Achilles program. To date, it's helped over 8,000 people, including Zach and myself, get back to running, jumping, and playing pain-free. This program isn't just for athletes, it's also been used by coaches and physios in the NFL, NBA, and Premier League, as well as every other major sport. And if that wasn't impressive enough, you can get the full program 15% off lifetime access when you click the link in the show notes and use code TIM at checkout. Now, back to the show. When I was coming up, if you didn't run, it was a foregone conclusion you were running a movement screen. It was baked in.
Right.
It was
Everybody had that FMS cert.
If it wasn't that, it was something else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Someone's getting overhead squatted today, motherfucker. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I, like you, I haven't done a movement assessment in a long, long time. I'm grateful that I went through all of that and, picked up whatever I learned from going through that process, basically that it's more or less useless most of the time. But I'm totally with you. I'm going to throw a statement at you. I want to just get a reaction. Pragmatism, making practical decisions, is greater than optimal. Let me try this. That is optimal.
It is optimal. It's better than quote unquote ideal. Everybody has their ideal, right? We all have our ideal. I wish I had 75 minutes a day with my athletes.
Right.
I don't. I wish I had a lot of things. We all.
So you're saying it's also about accepting reality?
Yes. 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 One thing young coaches can do a really good job of accepting really quick is that you are not the most important person in the room.
Yeah.
Often ever. I don't care how long you've been in the program. You are not the most important person. you are called support staff for a very specific reason. You are supporting the development of the program, and you are helping to facilitate the actual realization of all these athletes' skills, like manifesting themselves in sport. And, putting spinners on that thing as, Scott, Coach Cochran, right?
Put spinners on that thing.
Yeah.
By the way, that was a wonderful, I nailed that for those of you who don't know who this is. Thank you.
But sometimes I wonder how responsible I was, if I was at all, for the championship that we won in 2024.
Yeah. I get that.
I have told people this, and I will say it again here. If I was not the strength coach that year, they probably still would have won it.
Yeah. People get bent out of shape hearing that, I've found.
Because
why do you think that is?
Because I think it removes value from what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So I talk about nihilism in my course too.
Yeah.
I talk about a lot of like weird psychological realities and things you might encounter in like the human experience. Nihilism is this idea that nothing matters.
Yep. Shout out to Big Lebowski.
Which is wrong.
Yeah.
It's not like nothing matters. Do I think that things might have happened if I wasn't there for that year? Maybe someone gets hurt when it could have been prevented because it was like a major red flag and, they practiced like normal and nothing was said and something happened. Do they maybe enjoy themselves a little less or maybe more if they like another guy more than me? Maybe, that's very real, that they maybe like or dislike the experience more or less. And that could have an impact on wins. It could.
Yeah.
And togetherness in a team. Who knows? Like the list goes on of what could have changed. I mean, that's obviously all, what's the word? Hindsight, or it's all, you know the word I'm trying to think about.
I do too. God dang it. I need another Dr.
Speculation.
Pepper. Yes, thank you.
It's all speculation. I do think that what we do matters. Absolutely. But not so much that it's going to change the course of a season.
Yeah.
Talent matters a lot. I mean, you see it in recruiting now.
Yep.
I mean, no one's going after and paying NIL money to the most projectable athlete anymore. Those kids are getting recruited in high school, but the kids that are getting paid NIL can make an impact today.
Immediately.
Exactly.
Yes.
So that's another thing too as a strength coach is if you have a grad transfer come in, there's probably not much you need to change about that person. And there's not much that you really have to seriously like focus on or else something's going to go wrong. Like they were recruited for a good reason. They're there to play. And I'm not going to get hell-bent over an athlete like that more so than I will someone who has a very low training age and I'm trying to show them the ropes and really develop them and get them to be mature in a weight room and self-sufficient and able to make good decisions for themselves, understand their body, coach them through that. Those are two very different situations. So I think that's another thing coaches need to realize too, is that not everyone's the same, and the urgency for one person to train a certain way is not the same as someone else. Like it could mean less for someone else.
I want to touch on something and then we're going to get to questions, but I think it's important we touch on this. You have, bro, you're 25. Okay. And what I know I talked about this earlier, but like what you've done in the time you've had in our space, and you've done a lot. Like you have your own training team, you have programs you've created and put out, you have pragmatic principles, you've grown a social media following. Your content, dude, is contextual, it's meaningful, it's clear, it's concise. I know from personal experience doing all that stuff in a vacuum without another full-time job, without it's your wife, fiance, congratulations.
Thank you.
Without just all the other things in life, it's a lot. And you're doing it at a high level. So
thanks, man.
So part of this isn't a question. It's a tip of the cap, and an appreciation for you, because I genuinely I know how much work goes into it, and anyone who is on the precipice of trying to tackle those things or starting those things or in the midst of that process right now, listening to this, they know, fuck, it's a lot. Life's hard, and being an entrepreneur, frankly, and trying to push the envelope and put out good stuff is a job in and of itself. So all that to say, could you make a case, or what would be, make the case for the young coach, the strength coach, to push themselves out of the four walls of where they're at and to start tackling that stuff head on? What would you tell them why they should do that?
Someone asked me a couple of weeks ago, maybe a couple months ago, I can't remember how long ago it was, what was the deciding factor to start getting into business and to start putting myself out there? And like, what was the green light, or when did I know it was the right decision? And the answer is I never knew. I never got permission from anybody. I didn't care for anybody's permission. I asserted myself as whether or not I'm a dominant figure and an authority figure to teach right now, eventually I will be. That's what I've convinced myself.
Yep.
And that's what I think you need to do. It is a leap of faith, and it is a lot of trust in yourself. And it's very hard to do this on a regular basis. It is, but you have to keep the vision in mind, and you have to continue to remind yourself of the reason. I see coaches hurting. I see our profession disrespected. That hurts me deep down because I know how hard our job is. Sometimes we're very underthanked and appreciated, and sometimes we're not recognized. I feel like most coaches aren't in it for the recognition, but we do like it.
Everyone likes to be recognized for their efforts.
Of course, yeah. Who doesn't?
Right.
It's you have to make a leap of faith. You have to just pick one thing. People say, I don't know where to start. Start somewhere. I don't care what it is.
Doesn't matter.
What are you making? Are you making a program? Okay. Start writing on a piece of paper. Anything. Start typing in your notes. Start typing out the weekly layout. Write a name for it. Find a good platform that you would like to sell it on. Sign up for that platform. Record all your videos, post them to YouTube, and then hyperlink them. Start building. I mean, you could start a training team by the end of the day. It is 5:26 p.m. I could start a new training team. If I left this podcast, went back to my hotel, I could have a new training team up within probably 15 minutes.
Shout out Train Heroic.
It's that easy on Train Heroic.
It is that easy.
Make an account, create the training team, click sell on marketplace, upload a week of training.
Yeah.
Click publish.
Yeah.
Attach your PayPal, and you're done.
It's it.
That's it. Now, I don't want to offend people by making it seem so easy.
Sure.
Because a lot of it is your image that you're trying to protect.
Yep.
And what are people going to think about this?
Yep.
If one person buys it, 1,000 people will buy it.
Yeah.
I promise. I haven't sold 1,000 pragmatic principles, but courses, but
yeah.
I know that if 70 plus people have bought it, I can get a lot more people to get it.
Yeah.
And a lot of it comes down to also knowing what you're good at. What are you good at? What's your style? What do you enjoy talking about? I mean, I think you see it in my content and feel that I'm a good educator.
Yep.
And I'm not trying to talk myself up, but people have said you're well-spoken, you articulate your thoughts well. And that's why I feel like education is my thing.
Yep.
I write programs too on Train Heroic that people get, but that's not where I'm going to change the profession a little bit and help young coaches break through some of the mental hurdles that they experience. So I think my overarching goal with the course is to break through mental hurdles and have people think a little bit more clearly. Just have a better systems thinking approach to what they're being taught and the ability to sift through information a little better.
What are some of the lessons you've learned along the way? Are there any things when you took that leap of faith and you start building programs and you start building out, a learning platform and you're starting to build community, are there things that you thought how it would go, how it would feel, what it would look like, and then what it actually is?
So to put in all this into perspective, let me go back to the start of this course to kind of talk about this. So we do staff education at OU, our strength staff.
Sure.
One day I presented on, we all presented one topic that we wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about the 15 major principles that I think you need in your program to succeed at the collegiate level, or to build a good program that's robust to scheduling changes and is sufficient for this level of development and performance. And I named it Pragmatic Principles. And I was like, that sounds damn good. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
sounds pretty good. Some people might not know what the hell it is if they read it.
Yeah.
But I think it sounds pretty cool. And it sounds a little niche, and it sounds like a little, I think it sparks some curiosity. And I think that intrigues people to some degree.
There's an alliteration there that's very, it feels good to say.
Yeah. So I then took that presentation and I made just a 3-hour webinar on it. And I added about 10 more principles to it and spoke on each one for about 10 minutes, 8 to 10 minutes. And people liked it. And I was like, if people like this, I feel like I put it together in about a month.
Yeah.
There's no way that if I make like a mentorship out of this, or take each principle and because I could talk on each one for 45 minutes to an hour plus.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to get a lot more deeper on some of these things, these topics. And then that sparked the mentorship. And I call it a mentorship because there is a community and it's on Discord and people can ask. I mean, there comes a point where you have to charge a premium for your time. You have to.
Yeah.
You just have to. And people are hesitant to do that too. There's a weird relationship with money in our profession.
Totally, 100%.
Weird.
It's like you don't deserve it. You're supposed to not make this much money.
Let me put it to you this way. You can complain about being underpaid all you want. You tell me what's harder, making money for yourself or getting administration to give you a raise? What's harder? Getting admin to raise you is harder.
Much harder.
Okay. I know many people have tried it and have failed. I know people have tried it and have succeeded, but now with this NIL stuff, it's getting even more hard.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to take care of yourself. That's a big reason why I did it too. I mean, obviously I want to help people, but also I'd be lying if I said I didn't want to create a great life for my family.
100%.
Okay. Let's be real.
Yes.
I want my children to be very secure.
Yeah.
And I want to pay for their college. Okay.
Yep.
It's not wrong to say that.
No, it's not. In fact, I forget who I was talking about the other day. I want to normalize being able to have that conversation openly in our field, because in business, nobody bats an eye.
No.
Real estate, no one bats a fucking eye. In our space, it's like, no, it's like, no, fuck that. I want to do a good job and get paid like it.
Yeah.
What the hell's wrong with that?
And if you call yourself an expert, experts get paid for their time.
Yeah, man.
It's just how the world works. You pay for a service, and the quality of the service, the value of it dictates the price.
Yeah.
And that's why I have a problem with some interns nowadays. They want to get paid. I mean, I know some schools have laws and rules about it. Like you have to pay people to a certain degree, but where I come from, value dictates compensation. And I've had some honest conversations with some interns and people that I've worked with in the past. Like, be careful how much you're asking for here, or because you know the grass isn't always greener on the other side of the fence.
Yeah,
you might turn down this offer for this intern role, but good luck getting something this good anywhere else.
Right.
And like, give yourself a little bit of a reality check too. Like, just be. I emptied my checking account for the TCU internship. Emptied it. Didn't get much help. Paid for student loans myself. I mean, I don't know where people have this liberty of like, I deserve to be paid for, I don't know anything, but I deserve to be paid.
Yeah. It reminds you know what it's reminiscent of? Is like this idea. It just feels a little delusional, where it's like people will be like, I don't want to post, or I don't want to make a program, or I don't want to ask questions. You know, I'm afraid I'm going to look like an idiot. Like they've just started. I'm like, dude, you are an idiot. You don't know shit.
Yes.
That's okay.
It's okay.
Just accept it.
It's okay.
Then go ask the question. It's
Right.
like, I bring no value because I just started and I don't know anything in this industry. I want to make $60,000 a year. Like what? You know?
Right.
I didn't start there.
Well, so some more lessons with this, because I feel like I went off on a tangent there. One thing that you'll learn when you create things is that, you want it to be perfect. And some of your guests have said this before.
Yeah.
It's never going to be perfect.
Never.
There's always going to be things that you can clean up. This first rendition of the mentorship this year, I have to be okay with it. I have put over a year into it. I have sacrificed 95% of my free time to build it. I've sacrificed time with my fiance. I have gone home from games that end at 9 p.m. and I have worked on it until 2 o'clock in the morning because I have to meet a deadline for something, because I've set a schedule to get it done by a certain point, and I'll go insane if I don't stick to it because I'll just be procrastinating and then the quality of it won't be good. I have to remain disciplined with it. But something I've learned along the way is that most people are not, if they don't know what's coming, that is kind of like a safety net for you, because there are days where I'll make a module, I'll finish it. And then I think to myself, should I remove this? Should I remove that? Do I need to talk about that? And then I'm like, well, they're not going to know if I removed anything.
Yes.
They're going to see the finished product. Why am I so hyper focused on what I'm removing just to make it look better? It's going to be smoother. It's going to be shorter, more concise. It's going to be better than if I talk about this random off topic thing that I, for some reason, thought I needed to bring up.
Right.
So as detailed as I am as a person, and you see it in my posts, which we've talked about.
For sure.
People know what they're getting when they buy my course. It's very detailed and the context is there. And sometimes I feel like I go off on a bit of a tangent. And I think as I just get better at presenting, it's going to be a world-class course once I start getting better and better and better at it. And I'm going to do one cohort a year and just keep getting it better little by little, updating it little by little, and teaching it live every summer. That's kind of the way I'm going with it. And even if it's not perfect this time around, it's still damn good.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm proud of it.
Let's go, dude.
I'm proud of it. And I have a lot of people that I trust that are taking the course.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey man, be very honest with me.
Yep.
If you could rip it to shreds and completely just spit in my face, what would you say? And not many people can say something bad about it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is all self-inflicted stress that I'm putting on myself. It's all self-inflicted. Because I'm such a perfectionist.
Yep.
Because I've got the highest standard for myself that I mean, right now in this day and age, where I'm at professionally, I've never been harder on myself. And I think people see me on social media and they're like, this guy's got it figured out. This guy's dialed and locked. I mean, I have seasons of bad discipline. Okay. Not doing stupid things I shouldn't be doing. I'm not talking like that. But I'm saying my sleep is terrible. Okay.
Yeah.
I use nicotine products all the time. Okay. I use Zins. Okay?
Yes.
Even though it's probably not healthy for you. I drink probably 600 to 800 milligrams of caffeine.
That was going to be my next guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
I probably have traces of ADHD and maybe a little autism in me. Okay. And there are days where I am just where I'm just couch ridden. Like I don't want to get up. You know what I mean? But it's
I do know exactly what you mean.
It's because I've slaved for the last 2 weeks questioning my existence every ounce of the way.
Yes.
It also doesn't help that I am a man of faith. I try to be. And
Sure.
I'm very hard on myself in that regard too.
Yeah.
And my fiance, shout out to Hadley, my fiance, she told me the greatest piece of wisdom ever. She said, Joe, you cannot be good at everything at once.
Yeah. You can't. That's such a wonderful quote. You can't be everybody's everything all the time.
You cannot be good at every area. There are seasons where I don't train 6 days a week.
Yeah.
Okay. During the playoffs, I was working out twice a week. There were weeks where I was just building the marketing side of this course and I didn't work out, period, because I was so obsessed over it that I have so much time to get it done now. I put myself in this unnecessary time crunch thinking I had so much more to do than I needed to do. It's still a lot.
Right.
It's taken me a year, but I still have like over 2 months to like finish like 2 modules.
Yeah.
Like that's cake. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I have this urgency addiction. Like,
listen, we're very alike. In case you can't tell, I may have a touch of some things as well.
It's all good. Yeah.
I got more than my fair share dose of ADHD. I do some of my best work though when my back's up against the wall.
Yes.
And I gotta get this done, and then I lock in, and I'll put my back against the wall, locked in, fight or flight work up against just about anybody on this planet, dude.
Yeah.
I fucking will. I'm gonna get it done.
There's no replacement for it.
No.
Zero.
No. When your life, when you actually physiologically feel like your life's on the line to do this thing, it's pretty incredible what you can achieve.
There's a dark side to a lot of this.
100%. Yes.
I have had anxiety attacks.
Oh yeah.
In the last couple of months that I can't describe.
Yeah.
I mean, like situations where I literally need to stop doing, and like I feel like I can't breathe. Like,
I'm laughing. I'm like, you've listened to this show a lot.
Yeah.
So you know what's up with me.
No, it's cool.
I have diagnosed, and I remember I didn't know I had OCD or anxiety, like clinically. Like I knew, but like I didn't know, you know what I mean? And I remember like I'm filling out my sheet and then handing it to the lady, and shout out one of my old therapists. She was fantastic. And she looks at it and she goes, oh yeah, okay. Well, so your score would border on what we call severe. And I'm like,
for clarity, I'm not diagnosed. I'm not diagnosed like you are.
Yes.
But I definitely have obsessive traits, and I am intense and very focused, and like I care a lot about my job and my role to a fault.
Listen, dude, it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
The problem is it serves you so well.
It does.
It serves you so well. But
it attracts the right people.
It does. And look, man, like it's a common thread between people who are able to accomplish things, who are able to set goals and get things done and to move the needle. It's also, it has its drawbacks, like you alluded to, man. It really, really does. And I as I've gotten older and I've been able to understand myself more, I've been able to do a marginally better job of knowing when to push and when to reel it in. But God, it just feels so good when you're in it to really lean into it, man. Yeah. And you feel like you're firing all cylinders. And then the thing that I've run into is like, oh, I'm past the point of no return. And now I can't breathe. You know what I'm saying? And now I have to leave this 7-year-old's birthday party. You know what I mean? It's time to go.
I think the scariest thing of it all is, like I said before, you are the one who is deciding when it's time.
Yeah.
And you are the one who's assuming the position, and you have to hold your ground and prove it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yes. So when I present to these people, I'm like, do they feel like it's worth the money? Mm-hmm. I'm charging $600 for this course.
Right.
It's 12 modules. I think that's a pretty fair price.
Yeah.
Especially with what comes with it, but it's still a lot of money.
Yep.
And the last thing that I want is someone to buy it and say to themselves, I wouldn't spend more for it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
You want them saying, I
got everything and more out of this value.
Yes. And I would have paid twice as much if I had the chance.
The Coach 'em Up podcast is now powered by Vald, the global leader in human measurement technologies. Whether you're working with elite athletes, gen pop, or return to play populations, Vald's tools are designed to give you objective, actionable data to help drive your decision making. From Nord boards, force decks, and smart speed timing gates, all which I use, Vald helps you measure what actually matters. Their technology is used and trusted by the NBA, NFL, EPL, and NCAA, as well as thousands of high-performance clinics and facilities around the world. If you're serious about performance, recovery, or precision coaching, Vald gives you the best tools to test, assess, and improve. Because remember, if you're not testing, you're just guessing. Follow the link below to learn more and request a demo. Joe, we got to get some questions.
Do it.
We could talk for 3 hours. We're going to have you back on again. Okay. So let's, for the sake of time, we'll try and get to many of these as we can. We're going to try and just blast through these. Okay.
Let's go.
All right. This is from Lift, Run, Throw, Jump.
Love this guy.
I know. Favorite exercise for increased ankle stiffness? You can only pick one. And I'm going to throw a caveat in there. It can't be sprinting.
Overcoming split stance position isometrics.
Amazing. Let's move on to the next one. If you could only, this is interesting. Okay, this is from Netto Baseball. If you could only train concentric or eccentric muscle actions, which one would you choose and why?
Concentric, because I just love that skin tearing pump.
Let's freaking go. Wonderful answer.
I don't have much meat on my arms, but we're working on it.
Word on the street is that your email list is bigger or almost the same size as your IG following. Details on how you did this.
It's not nearly as big.
Okay.
But I have some funnels that I set up. Usually I'll send free, like, private YouTube links that are embedded in my website. And, if people sign up to get it, they're on your list.
Got it.
So I create some free presentations. I have one on force plates. I have one on archetyping athletes. I have one on speed program design. And people can claim them on...
I think I downloaded yours.
You did.
Yeah.
You did.
Good stuff.
So you're on my email list.
I am. Hell yeah. That's right. Fuck yeah. Got me. Woo!
So, I mean, you can just pump that stuff. And also, like, anyone who's ever bought one of my products is on there. I mean, I haven't sold 10,000 I'm not like...
Yeah.
But, like, most of it is from, like, funnels like that. Just free presentations that people will claim. And, like, ManyChat automations, if you just run those and have people comment a word to claim a free educational webinar, that feeds the algorithm and you'll get more views and you can spread some good content that way. But like free giveaway stuff, downloadables, free downloadables,
yep,
things like that.
This is from Hutch and Stuff Performance. What's more important for baseball players, acceleration or top end speed?
For baseball players?
Yes.
In a training setting, I would say acceleration. For sure.
This is from Matthew Monos. Can you explain impulse training and how you program it into your workouts?
I don't know how I feel about it, to be honest. I've programmed it a couple times. I was actually talking about this today with an old colleague and friend, and we are kind of speculating what the adaptations are with it. Some people say it's for fast twitch fiber hypertrophy. Some people say it's for tendon hypertrophy, but like tendon responds to heavy and slow load. It's not really going to adapt from fast loading. I mean, Jake talks all the time about how speed beats up the tendon.
Yep.
Slow loading nurses it, helps the collagen turnover. If anything, it might have like a Golgi tendon organ inhibition effect. Like maybe it will increase or decrease the inhibitory mechanisms in your nervous system. The way that I look at it, they're local plyometrics. So like you can isolate a muscle or joint and perform a plyometric at it. But I'm not so sure that I'm comfortable programming it as much as, it might seem from some of the videos that I've posted. I do think it's like the pinnacle of eccentric and like high speed isometric loading. It's something I'm really sifting through, and I don't really understand it entirely yet to really give a clear answer to that question, to be honest.
Okay. This is from _ETX training. Ask if he knows why Anakin was granted a seat on the council, but not the rank master. Also, want to shout out how impactful this dude is, inspiring, cutthroat, and indicative.
I don't know why.
You don't know why?
Oh, do you?
No, fuck no, dude.
I have no clue.
I don't know. I thought maybe this was like a deep cut from like you're like underlying. Maybe it was like that tism you were talking about. I mean, you like really know Star Wars.
I mean, I did like have a Yoda meme in one of my slides of like of the pragmatic principle. Yeah, like. And I also really love listening to the soundtrack of when he walks out of like the underground, like the sunset, the eclipse sunset scene. Oh my,
hell yeah!
I love that soundtrack. I'll work for hours to that soundtrack. That's about as much as I know about Anakin Skywalker.
Next question, Anur Hand Merkin. I'm sorry, I butchered that. There's no turning back now. Thoughts on triphasic training?
Zach Jungles, I love you. Okay, so my answer is not. I don't want to offend any of my guys here because they are really good coaches. Some of them. I think it's a lot. It's tough to buy. Like, it's really tough to buy into it sometimes. With I mean. I hate to criticize it from what it looks like.
Yes.
That's not a great way to critique something. But I look at a lot of the things that are happening and I say to myself, what aren't you going to get from sprinting with that? Or why would you attach double bands going one way and the other? Like, are you trying to overspeed it? Or like, if so, why would you have a double band? Mm-hmm. It feels like there's a little bit of forgetting of like heavy lifting and like strength training. Mm-hmm. I think of the trade-off between like all the high speed impact loading and then the muscular development that you have to do to counter that too. You know, if all you do is develop, you know, joint stiffness and tendon stiffness and CNS stiffness, but you forget about muscle tissue. I mean, isn't that how strains and tears happen? You have to create some kind of balance. And tendon ruptures happen when the opposite takes place.
Yeah.
You know, not all the time. I feel like there is a little bit of an imbalance of slow to heavy or slow to fast training styles.
I struggle. So listen, you know, the first time I read Triphasic 1, okay, I thought that was the pinnacle of strength conditioning and it always would be forever. And it's great. You know, I mean, I ran triphasic and I was a triphasic guy. Okay. Some of the things that I see, what it looks like it's turned into in some circles, I have a hard time understanding what's even trying to be accomplished.
I do too. And
it feels,
I will say this. The original triphasic, mm-hmm. you know, prioritizing eccentric strength is probably a good idea.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to have some series elastic component adaptations. You're going to have more tighten formation from heavy eccentric training. But the other thing with eccentric training too is now what a lot of the research is saying too is that if you can slowly lower it under control, it's probably not as beneficial as being completely overcome by a load, by like, you know, like super maximal loading.
Yes.
It's become a thing because you want the load to win the battle mm-hmm. and literally pry your fibers apart and you not be able to control it.
Yep.
So that was one iteration of triphasic that I think Cal made. I do love the transition to isometric training. Like I think isometric training is great too. I mean, It's great for strengthening sticking points, strengthening specific ranges of motion, increasing like rate coding or motor unit recruitment in a certain range of motion. I think that's all great. But this new style, I mean, I bought the triphasic 2-buck. I can't follow. I can't follow it. No offense, but I cannot read it. It bounces around. I don't, it's very hard to consume. I don't really understand what I'm reading.
That statement just really got me for some reason.
And look, I'll also admit I'm probably ignorant. Yeah. I might be ignorant. We might not understand it, mm-hmm. but I would find it very tough to replace a lot of the big rocks that I'm focusing on for some of that stuff.
This is some of these questions are pretty funny. All right, last question, and then we have to get to segments. Ophi_trains. Someone walks into the weight room. How do you know they're a freak athlete?
They walk into the weight room and I'm supposed to know right away.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, a couple of things that I've seen, like, do they look like they're wired? Are they kind of like bouncing around? Are they very like intrinsically motivated? They kind of have like this tempo about them, like this rhythm and like head down. There's like this aura and demeanor that you feel like they mean business when they show up. You know what I mean? And like they are there to outwork other people and outperform themselves and other people. I mean, I had a guy with the Royals. His name's John McMillan. He's with the Phillies now. I mean, who knew what this kid was going to pull out of left field to do in his workout, like on a given day? Like just a freak kid, throws gas, throws 100 plus.
Jesus Christ.
I love this kid because he was just such an ambitious dude, and he was just a firework. Like his presence in the weight room was like he kindled the fire for everybody else. Like that's another thing too is can you get the rest of the group kind of going? It is a big thing too. Like, do you have that? Do people look to you for an example? Do people use you as an example? Like when they're talking about what it means to be like a freak athlete? Those are just a couple things.
Okay. We're going to get through segments. We're going to do this quick. Okay. So this segment is called Three Things. It's brought to you by Squat Wedgies. Use code CoachEmUp15 at checkout for 15% off everything at squatwedgies.com. Joe, think about where you started and where you're at now. What are three ideas, attitudes, principles, actions that someone can take to get from where you first started in your coaching journey to where you are today?
Number one, never ask permission to be a certain thing or think about yourself a certain way. You're the one who dictates that. Number one. Okay. Number two, you can't replace reps. You have to practice what you're preaching, put yourself through it. I'm just completely shocked at, and this number is dwindling, but still the amount of strength coaches that aren't training themselves and experimenting on a day-to-day. Sometimes I do some training that I don't particularly enjoy, but it's something I think might work for some person. So I dabble with it for a little bit. So you can't replace reps. You can't replace hard work. You should be constantly developing yourself, taking some kind of educational content every day if you can. Something, okay? I don't care if it's an Instagram post. People they talk badly about getting your knowledge from social media sometimes, or like, you should be reading.
Dude, I've gotten some of my best insights from following other people who care about putting out good content.
Taking something every single day. And number three, man, take care of yourself. Like, we are in a business of pouring into other people. Mm-hmm. You have got to focus on yourself to a certain degree. You need to figure out what your main pillars are, what's going to make you healthy, what's going to keep you sane. For me, that's training. That's being a present and loving fiance, soon to be husband. That's taking care of my faith life. And that slips a lot. It slips because I don't have the time, or I convince myself that I don't have the time. Then I look at my screen time and it's 4 hours a day.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, well, that was kind of weak. You know what I mean? So like, you isolate the things that are going to make you the best person possible mentally and physically, so that you can actually be there for other people. There's so many people that are trying to fix the world and fix everything, and they haven't figured out their own problems yet.
Yeah, man.
Like, you just take care of yourself and be the judge of yourself first before you look outside the box. I think those are the big three. Those
are solid. Very solid. This next segment is called Rant and Rave. This is brought to you by Train Heroic. Shout out Train Heroic. Click the link in the show notes to join us. All right. Give me a rant, something you're seeing in the field or space, in fitness in general, that you'd like to see less of. And then let's go rave. Give us something that you're seeing that you love that you're seeing it, and you would like to see it continue to happen.
I'll start with the rave.
Okay.
Lately, I'm seeing a lot of people talk about imposter syndrome
Yeah.
and that it's normal.
Yeah.
It used to be frowned upon, or like people looked at it with a negative connotation.
Mm-hmm.
I've got an interesting take of imposter syndrome that I think would benefit a lot of people. If you feel that, that inherently means that you are aware enough to recognize that things could be better. And the people that don't feel that, it's like they go through life with blinders on.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they're not very self-aware about where they're at. And imposter syndrome is a really good thing because it's going to motivate you to be better. You should embrace it. You really should. And it's probably not going to go away. I've had imposter syndrome for my entire career. And every time you make that next step, you're going to feel it.
Yep.
Because it follows you.
Yeah.
Unless you get complacent. You know what I mean? It follows you every next step that you take. Am I supposed to be here? Am I supposed to be here? Am I fit to do this?
Yeah.
Am I qualified enough? But it is something that will make you a much better coach. And it's a quality that I think some people like wish they didn't have. Personally, I would pray for more of it.
Yeah. It lets you know you're outside of your comfort zone.
Yes. And it speaks to you being smart enough to realize that something's off. Like, what is that thing? Imposter syndrome is really good.
That's a great take.
I think that my rant, I think I already touched on it, but it's this virtue signaling and boasting about how many hours you're doing. It's just despicable behavior. I can't stand it because there's things that are more important than work. There are. And a lot of these things that are more important than work, I mean, just think of those things. Family. I mean, what else could you add to that list? Your physical health. Those things are way more important. Way more. So they demand a lot more effort and they demand time. They demand consistency. Mm-hmm. And you could easily put them to the wayside and forget about them. And I think I already touched on it. It's just making people feel bad that they're not doing what you're doing or feel bad that they're not working as many hours as you do. And this coming from a person who used to do 85, 90-hour weeks in baseball.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you right now, when practice or games end now, do you guys need, am I done? I'm gone.
Yeah.
I don't stick around. Now, That's not me not working hard.
Right.
It's just, look, the day's over.
Yeah.
Okay, like, I'm going to go sleep, hopefully 6 hours tonight. And then I'm going to wake up at 5 tomorrow and be back in the facility at 6:15.
Yeah.
Okay? Like, we have a pretty grueling schedule. Like, we wake up earlier than everybody else. Uh-huh. We have more contact with the athletes than anybody else. Our day is kind of chopped up. Like, we're at work, but then the athletes go to class, and then we have like 4 hours, and then we have to go back to practice. And then we go home. Like, it's not just like a straight day. Mm-hmm. It's broken up so to where it's like, well, I can't really go home and, settle in and kind of relax for a little bit. I gotta stay on campus or do whatever. Like, when it's not time to work, just don't work. Don't do it. Because you could always find...
Just stop it.
You could get some help. You could always find something to do. Always.
Yeah.
Always. There's always going to be something that you want to do or you can find to do, and it's an impulse you have to fight. You really do have to fight it.
You're 2 for 2 on these segments, by the way. Crushing. Overrated versus underrated, and let's just keep this like to strictly training.
Yeah.
Are there any ideas, principles, concepts in regarding training that you feel like are kind of overrated or outdated? And then on the other end, what are some things, ideas, principles, concepts about training specifically that are underrated?
Okay, the VBT strength zones, I think, like assuming that accelerative strength, speed, strength, starting strength are like different qualities is the most overrated thing I've ever seen. Assuming that an athlete is sprinting and jumping, I can promise you that moving a barbell at 1 meter per second is not a novel stimulus to that athlete. If anything, it's detraining their strength. The only time that you should be lifting lighter loads is to save some energy in the tank so you can practice skill like we talked about before, or that you can pour more resources into speed development, or you can spare yourself some, DOMs or whatever, soreness, and you can, just work yourself a little less, less hard. So you can pour into other things that maybe need more attention. That's why you surf the curve. You don't surf the curve so that you check every box and hit every quality. You know what I mean? They're not different qualities. They're all general strength. So I go deep into that into my course. We don't have much time here. There's an hour and 45-minute conversation about that in itself on my course. And I talk about that a lot on my Instagram too. So I'm after maximal strength, and when it comes time to focus on something else, then we back off a little bit. It's not like we're in a speed strength zone this block.
Speed strength block.
And then like you don't hit a heavy load for like 6 weeks. It's like you're gonna lose strength.
I like that take.
So I think that's overrated.
Underrated.
Underrated? I'm gonna have to think here.
While he thinks, you know what I just realized, and it's because they're a brand new sponsor, so I'm already screwing it up. Did you know that Overrated and Underrated is powered by Vald? Let's freaking go, baby! You got to see me using the smart speed gates today.
Smart speed gates are dope.
Holy shit, those things are nice, dude.
They look cool too.
God, they look so cool. The lights. Are you kidding me?
They look really cool. I think the underrated thing is not warming up, like not doing a structured warm up and just playing games, free flowing, seeing what comes to your mind. I feel like your body is going to tell you and reveal to you what it needs, and it helps you like enjoy your process a little more and your training a little more. It's like, what is my body going to teach me today? What's it going to show me that it needs? And through exploration, just telling yourself, like, I'm not going to do a single warm-up exercise that I did yesterday or last week. I'm going to challenge myself to find new stuff that I'm going to do today, and just broaden your movement bank, broaden your toolbox, and like have some randomness in your training a little bit. Like every program should have a little bit of a bias, direction you're going, so you can measure what you're doing, and you can have like an actual clear-cut goal. But there should be room for exploration. I think Austin Jochum does probably the best job of that out of anybody in the field.
Yeah.
But that's underrated. I'm so sick and tired of running dynamic warm-ups.
I know. I listen. Sometimes I think to myself, I'm like, this is what's going to make me kill myself.
And you know what's
it's going to be the dynamic warm-up.
You know what's funny too?
What?
Athletes hate it too, I feel like.
Everyone hates it.
But the second you change it.
Yeah.
Oh,
things get weird.
Yeah, real weird.
Yes.
What's this guy doing?
Yeah, exactly.
Whoa, hold up, guys. It's
time out.
Yeah, there's all this chatter going on about whatever show they watched last night or whatever happened over the weekend, and like you just hear a pin drop. Like the conversation just stops. It's like, what happened? It's like, oh, we're doing crab walks instead of bear crawls this week. Like,
what?
Okay.
Yeah.
God forbid I try to change it up a little bit. It's.
All right, this last segment is brought to you by Eleiko. Still can't believe they sponsor us. Click the link in the show notes, and at checkout, use code CoachEmUp10 for 10% off everything you can purchase, and enter a code on at the Eleiko link in our show notes, which is pretty crazy. This is called Unsolicited, Solicited Advice. So, we're going to be wrapping up this show soon. We're going to be going our separate ways. And as you're walking across the street, you're going to be heading into the parking garage. And you know that like awkward thing where like two people, it's like a stranger you don't know, and you're both walking in the same direction. And you're both clearly going to be walking next to each other for a while now. So you like do the thing where you either like speed up or slow down to just try and create a little, Instead of doing that, you look at this person and you feel convicted, called, you know you have to give this random person a piece of advice, and it can be about training, life, anything in general, what is that one piece of advice?
Study yourself. Be a student of yourself. Practice being self-aware. I know my weaknesses in and out. Like the back of my hand, I know what I do wrong. I'm way too intense in front of people. I'm unapproachable sometimes. It makes me seem like I'm a rude person, or like I'm unforgiving, or I'm not a charitable person. You know, it's just not true. I'm all those things, I feel like.
Yeah.
But it's this like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Because I almost care too much. And I did a post about this a while back too. There's this very real situation I feel like a lot of people go through where like they feel like the expectations placed on them are way greater than they really are. I'm a victim of that. I think I need to be perfect like all the time.
Yep.
And that's just not life.
Right.
So study yourself, understand what you do really well and what you don't. Continue to pour into what makes you good. It's like in training. You don't forget about what makes you good. You know, you don't, oh, you're really strong, so we're never going to strength train ever again. No, it's just you invest more here and you just maintain it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And make sure that you're, you know, you're still emphasizing those things, but yeah, don't let other people define you, and be self-aware.
That is excellent, unsolicited advice. Joe, where can people find you? Where can they connect with you? What's the best way to get in touch?
Best way is probably Instagram at Pedulla Performance. You can email me at joe.pedulla@pedullaperformance.com. That's probably the easiest way.
Nice. Joe, thank you, man. I appreciate you coming on. We're
you.
definitely going to have you back if you're willing to make the trip. We will, dude. We need more time. Everyone listening, watching, thank you so much again for making it this far. Like, subscribe, do all the YouTube stuff, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.